If every day of one's life, if every hour and moment of our life if it has to be a forward movement, if it has to be a process of growth and not stagnation, it is important that we are in constant communion with that which is the ultimate truth. In identifying ourselves with limited aspects of who we are, we are identified with many things. If you I've seen in the families sometimes, different people have different plates to eat. In case you change the plates and give, there will be a big argument. The plates don't taste, nor can you eat them. It neither tastes good, nor does it nourish you. But the plate, this is my plate, I will not eat in your plate. A very important thing. So anything that you touch, anything that you sit upon, anything that you set your eyes upon, you get identified. What this means is, let's say you don't know how to drive. There are many people who are doing this, particularly I see two-wheeler drivers. You will see their brake light is always burning because they got the brake half down and their one leg is down. This man is heading for a big mess. If you want to ride, both your legs should be up and your leg should be off the brake unless it's needed. Have you seen people going around with the brake light on all the time? Because they got the brakes, because they think it's safe to keep the brakes down. As you get identified with this thing and that thing and that thing, you're throwing your anchor, hoping your ship will go somewhere, it'll only sink. There's only one place it can go, not like this, it can go only like this. So satsangatve nisangatva means, what this 4 lines are trying to tell you is just this, that if you're in communion with truth, your associations will be just associations, not attachments. You will know involvement in life, but you will not know entanglement in your life. Not because it's right or wrong, with brakes on, if you try to go somewhere, you'll burn yourself up. And then you think life is a miserable thing. Yes, if you have brakes fully on and try to drive, driving is a miserable process, no question about that. So if one has to constantly be on the move, if one has to let his life fly, not crawl, if one has to evolve, if evolution is an ongoing process for you, if your idea of evolution is only to the extent that Charles Darwin endorsed it, that is, your spine got little shorter. You know, it used to be long and hanging out. Now it got little shorter, you can sit little more comfortably. You don't have to roll it up. If that is all is the idea of evolution, that's one way to live. Little better than a monkey, but much more troublesome than a monkey, much more destructive than a monkey. If that is the idea of evolution, it's fine. But if your intention is to evolve as an ongoing process, every day, every hour, every moment, if you want to evolve, the brakes should go off. Only then it'll roll. If you're driving a car or whatever, you don't have to keep the throttle on all the time. If you have it on for some time and then leave it, depending upon the kind of terrain you're doing, it'll keep rolling. As long as you don't touch the brakes, it keeps rolling. Life is like that too. Spiritual process is like that too. Sadhana is like that too. You just press it and leave it, it keeps running, unless you're braking all the time. Whatever you see, you're getting attached to it. Whatever you see, you're getting identified with it. If you identify yourself with anything, that is not you. Obviously, you are not moving from untruth to truth, you're moving from truth to untruth, from reality to hallucinatory process. In this, one will not evolve, one will just entangle, because in this, you will not know the nature of your existence. In this, you will not touch anything that is real. The psychological drama will rise in such a big way, it will raise so much dust in your head that you can't see what is in front of you. If a dust storm comes up here, if… now they've grown grass and this is not possible. Suppose a dust storm came, you're sitting here, the Analinga is here, but you cannot see because there is a screen. This is what is happening because you're constantly raising the muck, because you're identifying yourself with things that you're not. The moment you're identified with something that you're not, you're moving not from untruth to truth, but from truth to untruth. So what is the nature of my relationship is not the problem. The problem is that you're identifying yourself with that. You're using substances other than yourself to create a sense of self. There is nothing in the existence which will substitute the self. Because the only way, the only and only way you can experience anything for that matter is through the self, there is no other way. Your very existence is self-ish. You must separate the word. Your very existence is selfish because everything that happens only through the self. There is no other way. So if you keep this just as it is capable of reflecting the whole cosmos for you. If you muck it up, it doesn't even show you what's right in front of you. So, if you are in a state of nirmoha or non-identification with anything other than what's this, you will come naturally to an unwavering way of being. Once you're unwavering in your purpose, liberation cannot be denied to you. There is no way it can be denied to you. The reason why this life does not get to its natural destination is, every minute you're changing course. Every minute, the focus of your life keeps shifting. Every minute, whatever you set your eyes upon, it gets identified with it. So after some time, it just does not know where to go. It just will not know where to go. It will be one confusing mess. Suddenly, life looks unnecessarily complicated. The complication is only in your psychological process. Life is pretty simple. Birth is not in your hands. You're just born and you have to just die one day. Really. Is anybody else making anything else compulsory for you? Is anything else compulsory? Birth is compulsory, death is compulsory. In between, whatever the hell you want. Simple, isn't it? No, but. But that's all yours. Only two things nature has set for you. You're born, you have to die. Aren't you glad you have come with an expiry date? Aren't you glad? No? I'm glad. If there was no expiry date, could we make you meditate for a moment? Suppose you were immortal oh my God, could I tell you anything? Only because there's an expiry date and the time ticking, whether you live or you don't live, whether you do something or you don't do something, it just keeps going. Because it doesn't wait for you. If you could halt it, you wouldn't meditate, please say this. You wouldn't do anything. Because you cannot halt it, just going. By the moment, it's getting closer. You think you're going to get married? I'm telling you, that may happen on the way, but you're going to die, that's for sure. Yes. So there's only one compulsion, that you have to die. Before that, whatever you do is yours. If you just understand this much, when you were born, there was no compulsions, you could be whichever way. Only compulsion is stomach. Once stomach is full, there's only other compulsion, that you have to die one day. Rest is easy, you know. You can complicate it if you want, but it's actually very easy, you can do whatever you want. Such a simple process, your mind complicates it like crazy, insanely crazy. It makes it so complicated. Waking up in the morning is such a complex process. Going through the day is an unbelievably complex process. Everything, just everything has become so complex. If you had to conduct your breath, if you had to conduct the rhythm of your heart, if you had to conduct the circulation of blood, if you had to conduct the cellular process, if you had to conduct the chemistry of your system, oh… Can you imagine, just conduct your breath for 10 minutes, let me see. Goes all over the place. If only if you had to conduct the life process, I don't know what would have happened to you. You don't have to conduct it, it's all free. Breath is happening, everything is happening, yes? Whether you're aware or unaware, it's happening. Whether you care about it or you don't care about it, it's happening. So this is all. Life just happens. You just have to die. And that also happens, you don't have to do it. Just allowing everything to happen to you gracefully, that is all. Allowing life to happen gracefully, and when death comes, allowing death to happen gracefully, that's all. People have tried excessive eating, intoxicants, excessive indulgence in pleasures. With all these things, they have tried to create some kind of peacefulness within themselves. You thought you got there, but next moment you know you're not there. Any number of times it's deceived you, isn't it? Yes? One Saturday evening, your whole family met, all of you had a wonderful dinner, you thought this is the height of the world. Everything is so wonderful, magical. Tomorrow morning you see, not because there is something wrong with your family. It is just that with limited entity, you're trying to create an unlimited space. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Nothing wrong, it's just that it doesn't work. There are lots of great things in the world which don't work. I'm not interested in them, that's all. You interested in great things? Are you interested in great things? Oh, thank you. I'm not interested in great things, I'm only interested in things that work. I don't want to… There are lots of great things, people claim they are great things, but they don't work, they have not worked for anybody. They're great things because somebody says so. They're great things because somebody thinks too much of himself and whatever he says or does must be great things. But they don't work. We are looking for something that works. If you are determining the course of your experience right now, 100%, if you are determining the nature of your experience right now, 100%, let's say, we have to assume that, if you are, then would somebody have to tell you, please create a pleasant experience? Would somebody have to tell you? No. So somebody telling you be loving, be blissful is all bullshit. Yes or no? Because nobody needs to tell you, be pleasant. The problem is you're not able to determine the nature of your experience, isn't it? Yes? The problem is you're unable to determine the nature of your experience for whatever reasons. If you could determine the nature of your experience, nobody has to tell you, be blissful, be loving, be happy, be this. This is all coming from, patchy ideas about life. You see somebody fighting, you say be loving. You see somebody unhappy, you say blissful. It's most insulting. When somebody is in a great state of unhappiness, going and telling, be blissful, is most insulting, isn't it? No? But these are all the great teachings on this planet, which have been on for centuries. These are all great things that have never worked. So, we are only seeing how to determine the nature of your experience. If you take charge of what causes experience within you, if you are in charge of that, I'm 100% sure you will make it very pleasant for yourself. And I'm also sure, if you are feeling very pleasant within yourself, you would be naturally pleasant to everybody around yourself. Unfortunately, people have taken it upon themselves to confuse the humanity so badly about their own nature. See, it's very simple, it doesn't take any damn scripture or a guru to tell you this. It's very simple. Whatever the nature of your experience, it's happening within you. Is it so? You don't need some great yoga or a scripture or a guru or a stone that falls from heaven to tell you this. If the nature of your experience, whatever is the nature of your experience, whether it is fear, anger, love, hatred, ecstasy, agony, everything is happening from within you, it would be very natural for human beings to look and see how to make it into a most pleasant experience, isn't it? If you had not freaked them, God loves you from up there. If you had not exported love to heaven, lot of human beings would have been very loving human beings. But now we have exported it out there, you have to import it. For importing it, you need permit. And there are agents here who don't give those permits so easily. It's not coming across because all the love has gone to heaven. How to get it now? Here there's a priest standing here with a permit. He won't give it to you. Whether you want to experience blissfulness, whether you want to experience love, whether you want to experience ecstasy, whatever states of pleasantness human beings have known have come from within them. Is that so? So, there is no need to apply for any permit from anywhere. You just have to become willing to explore what this is, to bring this to the most pleasant state. Not because it's a virtue. Love is not a virtue. Bliss is not a virtue. To be pleasant is not a virtue. It's just that is the way you long to be, isn't it? It is not that if you're loving, you'll go to heaven. It is not that if you're ecstatic, you'll go to heaven. It is just that if you're loving and ecstatic, you don't need a damn heaven. People who've made a hell out of themselves want to go to heaven. People who've made a heaven out of themselves, where do they want to go? Wherever the hell they go, they don't care. So if you are an inner engineer, then you make this the way you want. That's all it takes. It doesn't need anything. It is just that because it's in a different direction than the way you're constantly looking through your sense perception, you need help, maybe. Not necessarily, but generally, yes. You need a certain amount of help, but that's all. Grace is just that help, that it creates a conducive atmosphere to slip in. If any machinery has to perform well, people have started using these words everywhere these days. You need lubricants, some lubricant. Whatever the great car you have, try to run it without oil. Not 10 minutes, it'll be ruined, isn't it? It's the lubricant which is keeping it going. All this great machinery, without that little bit of that thin film of lubricant, it's all destroyed in no time. Grace is just that little lubricant so that things happen smoothly. Now they've started calling it liquid engineering. Everybody started doing it. It's appropriate. Takes liquid engineering. So, this takes little engineering. Grace is just a lubricant. Without the lubricant, if you try to work The friction, just the friction of life has destroyed too many human beings, isn't it? Yes? Nothing big they did. All they did was simple things. They were born which was not their doing, they didn't do such a big thing. That just happened. They just want to eat well, sleep well, fulfill their basic needs. This is all they want to do. In the process of doing this, how many human beings are broken and bitter and destroyed? Because no lubricant. Nothing wrong with them. They're trying to work their engines without a lubricant. That's all it is. Just see, even your cell phone is working because through thin air, they're conducting the sound for you, isn't it? We can just disturb that. You know those advertisements, hello, 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 hello. You're seeing those things. Phones become like that because there is a little bit of disturbance. That's what is happening with this also. This is a far more sophisticated instrument than anything that you have seen. This needs a little bit of attention. If you pay attention, it pays off. If you just believe something hard and fast, because either you're born into that culture, or somebody has really worked upon you, or some other compulsion has made you take to it. The moment you believe this is it, then there's no need for your mind. Mind is a tool for exploration, not for drawing conclusions. Unfortunately, most people are using their mind to draw conclusions. This mind is not about drawing conclusions, this is a tool for exploration, that you can continue to look at life in deeper and deeper ways, in more profound ways of experience and knowing. That's the significance of the mind. If you had to just draw conclusions, you don't need such a complex structure of mind. You don't need it. Now, the disease of doubt and suspicion, you try to fix it with faith. No. You just have to refine your logic. You have to refine the nature of your mind, that you need to understand that there is a way to be in this world without taking any position. That's why the postures, yoga postures, you understand? To twist yourself this way, that way, because to understand that I don't want to take any particular position in my life. I'm not stuck this way or that way. I want to know life from every possible direction. Every possibility that this life is, I wish to know when I'm alive. So if that has to happen, you need a flexible mind, a mind that has not taken positions, a mind does not believe or disbelieve something. See, do not think disbelief is an option. Belief and disbelief are not two different things, they are positive belief or negative belief, that's all they are. Two different ways of believing. Belief and disbelief. So we are not talking about faith versus atheism, belief versus disbelief, no. We are talking about why can't you learn to not take a position of anything. Right now, to conduct a particular activity, we take positions, but there is no need to take positions to live, to be alive here. If you want to know life, you should not take any position or any opinion about anything. The moment you form an opinion, that means you're not open to anything else, isn't it? Whether it's about a person or yourself or about the life around you, you don't form any kind of opinion or conclusion. Conclusion means death. Yes? Life means no conclusion, you're looking. Instead of sharpening your vision, you're drawing a conclusion, because conclusion brings a certain certainty. It brings a certain confidence. The moment you believe something, you're confident. Confidence without clarity is a disaster. It's better to see clearly rather than just believe something. If you believe something, it gives you confidence and sometimes it works, unfortunately. We've been talking about this all the way along. Even if you want to cross a street, what you need is clarity of vision, not confidence. Confidence can kill. The traffic is not much, it works. That's the whole problem with it. Yes, the traffic is not much and it's not fast. Then it works, and now you think it works, you apply it everywhere, you will get hit. So you don't need confidence. If you just give up your need for confidence, you're okay being here, not knowing anything. Actually, you don't know nothing. Please look at this. You really don't know anything about the nature of this existence, isn't it? Yes or no? You don't know when this entire solar system is going to fall apart. Maybe it's tomorrow morning. Do you know? Do you know whether it is going to fall apart tomorrow morning or not? Do you know? You don't know when you'll fall dead. You don't know when it's going to happen. But it's all right. But if you are that kind of a mind which is looking for faith, you know everything, not just here. Beyond death, where you will go, what kind of accommodations you will get there, you know the works. This kind of knowing is what needs to go. An ignorance which is aware and acknowledged by yourself that I'm ignorant is a far more powerful and profound state than a knowledge that you have concluded about. You have conclusions about everything and everybody. Just try this one simple sadhana in your life, all of you. Whatever conclusions you have about yourself, about the people around you, about the situations around you, just give it up tonight. Tomorrow morning, just wake up and look at everything fresh. Just do this every day, at least see if you can maintain this for the first 1 hour after you're awake. You will see it will take lots of work. You understand? It'll take lots of work, 24 hours of the day, to look at everything fresh. If you're looking at everything fresh, you will not miss a single possibility. Everything is alive to you. Where people see nothing, you will see all kinds of things. Where people see problems, you will see possibilities in life. But the moment you conclude, if you make conclusions and you concretize it and then you get it endorsed by heaven, then you're calling that faith. Ignorance endorsed by a great authority will not become truth. This is the biggest problem, that people think authority is truth. No, truth is the only authority in the creation, in this existence.
Since you woke up today morning, till this moment, let's leave the sleeping time. Since you came awake fully, from that moment to this moment, your body has been doing its things, isn't it so? Physical activity is happening, both outwardly and inwardly, happening or no? That's why we're alive, it's happening. Mental activity has been happening, emotional activity is happening, energy activity is happening. How much of these 4 dimensions of activity did you perform consciously from the moment you came awake till now? How much do you think? What percentage? What percentage? Well below 1%, believe me. When you perform activity consciously, less than 1%, over 99% is unconscious. Everything will look accidental, isn't it? Everything looks like divine intervention. Because 99% of the time you're unconscious. Do one thing. When you drive today to wherever you drive, 99% of the time, close your eyes and drive. You will see how many people you will meet. But if you drive with your eyes open, fully conscious, you're not going to meet anybody like with a bang. Things will happen in a completely different way. How conscious we are will determine how much of your destiny you determine. How unconscious you are determines how much of your destiny is accidental. Everything that's accidental, we want to attribute it to some other force elsewhere. No, this must stop. We must understand, it is we. Is there no other force? Of course. You didn't make the creation, nor did I, all right? You did not create this creation, nor did I create this creation. There is, but that is a different dimension altogether. And what is happening with you right now is entirely your making. From where you come from in India, is the only culture on the planet which constantly told you, your life is your karma. Karma means you're doing. Your life is your making. Whatever may be happening, you may be able to logically figure out why it is so, you may not be able to figure out, but still you know one thing, if this is happening to me, this is my making. This is the greatest empowerment you can have, when you understand, my life is my making. Whatever happened till now, it doesn't matter. How will you make your tomorrow? I'm asking you. If you clearly know 100%, my life is my making, how will you make the next moment? How will you make a tomorrow? How will you make your future in the most beautiful way? Isn't it so? That's what needs to happen.